Mopork here, attempting to do the most detailed Omen guide possible. Omen is a very versatile character, able to be played anywhere on the map. He excels at slicing up key points on the map, and has limitless mind game opportunities at his disposal. If outsmarting your opponents like no other is your fancy, then this agent may be the one for you. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started. Starting off, we'll be going over his teleport ability, Shrouded Step. Equip a Shadow Walk ability and see his range indicator. Fire to begin a brief channel and then teleport to the marked location. This ability extends up to 15 meters, and you can reach vertical locations, including atop the stage's walls. Your opponent can hear where you teleport from, up to about 45 meters away. The sound where you teleport to is much more subtle, and reaches up to about 15 meters. You have full control over your character's orientation during his teleport. You can also maintain momentum by jumping before teleporting to a location. This function is used in order to take a teleporter on bind and teleport back to where you came from, in order to throw off your opponent. One of the best uses of this ability is to grab vertical power positions quickly to catch rotators. Places like Heaven on A side of Haven or A side of Bind are the most notable. The mind game potential of this ability is practically limitless due to the fact that your opponent cannot see you cross certain gaps. For example, you can open up with a pick, teleport across the gap to another point of cover, and snag another kill while your opponent is trying to trade, expecting you to be in the same position. Obviously, they can hear the teleport going on. However, with gunfire and abilities, and even voice comms happening simultaneously, it isn't uncommon, even for the strongest players, to be unaware of the sound cue in that particular moment. You can even use the teleport in the same position to bait your opponent to thinking that you had teleported across the gap. Next up comes the ability Paranoia. Instantly fire a shadow projectile forward, briefly reducing the vision range of all players it touches. This projectile can pass straight through walls. This ability fires up to 35 meters in range, and the size of the projectile increases the further it travels. Here are some range examples. Towards the 30 meter range, this ability can expand with a width of up to about 5 meters in radius. This ability is locked to a casting animation as soon as the button is pressed, meaning you are fully committed once pressing the button. In addition, you are locked into the direction you are facing. Enemies are notified that you are casting the ability nearby with a wispy effect on the edges of their screen. This effect can be used as a zoning tool at the very minimum. This ability is best used as a support ability for another teammate to make a play off of, or as a counter flash or a counter push. Your odds of landing the ability are more likely when being used through a wall, since the projectile is relatively slow and can be dodged. Using it down hallways is also very effective. In addition to its blinding effect, it also messes with your sound, making it very hard to hear rushes happening. Paranoia's animation also extends his jump distance and vertical height, allowing you to get to certain locations without using a teleport. However, this feature seems to be a very low value use of this ability. Would not recommend. Omen's signature ability is Dark Cover. Equip a shadow orb to see its range indicator. Fire to throw the shadow orb to the marked location, creating a long-lasting shadow sphere that blocks vision. Hold alternate fire when targeting to move the marker further away, and hold the ability key while targeting to move the marker closer. This ability has a range of roughly 80 meters and can be cast through walls, almost capable of being used from one side of a map to the other. Your opponents will not see the projectile, instead only see the smoke being created. While it's a very large sphere compared to the other smokes in the game, it's a hollow smoke that doesn't impede vision when inside. This ability is free and is on a cooldown, making it one of the best smokes in the game. The smokes last 12 seconds after detonation, and the cooldown begins immediately after throwing, making it more efficient to be used from long range in order to have maximum uptime during an execute. The best way to aim this ability in optimal locations is to use your minimap. You can also aim the smoke into the air, so that when it detonates, it slowly falls towards the ground. This attribute can be used to make brief one-way smokes in any location as long as you peek immediately after detonation, and as long as you are further away from the smoke than your target. You can also use this attribute to cover your teleport to vertical locations, and usable to your teammates on the ground while setting yourself up for a cheeky frag. Since your smokes are technically free, Omen's ability to bait out enemy utility is one of his main strengths. When paired with Brimstone, you can also be very thorough in terms of blocking all possible sightlines in a smoke execute on a particular bomb site. Another strength of his smokes are the ability to create actual one-way smokes in many locations around the maps. These involve the use of angles to be able to see your opponent's feet before they can see you at all, setting yourself or your teammates up for easy frags. Check out my one-way smoke guides for more in-depth examples and lineups. Omen's ultimate ability is From the Shadows. Equip a tactical map, fire to begin teleporting to the selected location. While teleporting, Omen will appear as a shade that can be destroyed by an enemy to cancel his teleport. This ultimate can be used globally and costs 7 orbs. The circle you see around your cursor is the sound range that your opponents can hear you teleport to. The sound played is more ambiguous when teleporting directly behind or vertically near your opponents. Here are some sound examples. You get invulnerability frames, or iframes, directly after reforming, giving you the advantage if someone decides to be greedy and allows you to reform. It's safer and just a better idea to send the Omen back from whence he came. This ultimate is most effective at pinching your opponent by teleporting to power positions instantly and causing a large amount of pressure from your new position. Teleporting to your opponent's spawn should be used sparingly as most players will expect it, and it also gives your opponent more time to react and plan accordingly. A well-timed ultimate in a powerful position can tip the engagement of an execute heavily in your team's favor. Omen can also carry the spike with him during his ultimate. Should your opponent over-rotate after seeing the spike, you can teleport to another bomb site instantly. Omen also has the option to use his ultimate in place, adding to the endless possibilities to confuse your opponent. In this clip, I use my ultimate in place after my opponent takes the spike into the teleporter, causing my opponent to think I'm chasing him with my ultimate.
No, GG.
In this clip, I attempt to use my ultimate in a shorter range to get behind my opponent at close range. I get spotted and sent back quickly. However, it doubled as a way to get me free information to set up for quick frags from my current position. That about wraps up the Omen guide. Hopefully this guide has transformed your Omen gameplay from being very messy into grand feasting in every game. Let me know in the comments below if it helped you, and let me know if I missed anything important. Once again, this is Moport, and until then, see you next time.